You think your morning coffee is helping you feel alive? But after 50, it might be the very thing making you feel more empty. It's a hard truth, because the very ritual you've leaned on for years, that warm, reliable cup, could be silently draining the energy you no longer have to spare. This message is for you if mornings have started to feel heavier than they used to. If you wake up and feel like you're already behind. If the light in your eyes has dulled not from age but from something deeper you can't quite name. You still get up. You still push through. But something's changed. And the worst part, you can't figure out why. You tell yourself maybe it's just getting older, that this is normal, that everyone feels this way after 60, and so you pour that first cup, hoping it brings the spark back, and for a moment, it does. The fog lifts, your focus sharpens, your hands stop trembling, but then it crashes. Mid-morning hits and you're more tired, more irritable, and strangely more hungry than before. So you pour a second cup, and maybe a third. Until eventually, you don't know what your real energy feels like anymore. It becomes a cycle caffeine crash repeat. Quietly, you start asking yourself questions you never thought you would. Why can't I focus like I used to? Why is my heart racing at the smallest thing? Why do I feel so flat? Even when life is good, the truth is you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not failing. But the thing you've been depending on to feel normal caffeine is no longer serving you the way it once did, especially after 50. As we age, the systems in our bodies that regulate energy hormones and recovery naturally begin to slow. Testosterone declines. Cortisol, the stress hormone, becomes more reactive. Sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented. Blood sugar spikes faster. And your adrenal glands, the little engines that produce energy and manage stress, begin to fatigue under pressure. When you reach for that cup of coffee first thing in the morning, you're sending a false alarm to your nervous system. You're telling your adrenals to wake up, pump cortisol, and flood your body with adrenaline, even if you didn't sleep well, even if you're already depleted. And when this becomes a daily ritual, your body starts to depend on the stimulation. But it can't keep up. Over time, the impact is silent and slow. Blood pressure rises, circulation narrows, intimacy fades, testosterone drops, and the nervous system begins to fray. What used to feel like a gentle pick-me-up now becomes a demand your body can't afford to meet. Caffeine doesn't give you energy. It borrows it. And like any loan, it comes with interest. And yet this isn't a story of blame. Most people are never taught what caffeine does to the aging body. They're told it's harmless, that it boosts focus and metabolism. But here's what the research actually says. According to Harvard Medical School, caffeine in older adults can increase heart rate, spike blood pressure, and disrupt deep sleep cycles, leading to more fatigue, not less. A 2020 Mayo Clinic study found that caffeine consumption over 300 milligrams per day, roughly 2 to 3 cups, can elevate cortisol levels and suppress testosterone, especially in men over 50. And the National Institute on Aging confirms that adults become more sensitive to caffeine as they age, making it harder for the body to recover from its effects. In other words, the more tired you feel, the more likely caffeine is making it worse, not better. But this is where it gets hopeful. Because once you understand the truth, you can take back control. You don't have to quit coffee forever. You don't even have to stop enjoying your morning ritual. You just need to use it differently, with intention, and with support for your body's natural rhythm. And in the next section, I'll show you exactly how to do that with natural science-backed habits that restore energy balance hormones and help you feel more like yourself before you even pour the first cup. Hi, I'm Dr. James Whitmore, and if you're over 50 and feeling tired, disconnected, or low on drive, you're not alone. but there's a natural way to fix it. Let's shift the conversation from what's draining your energy to what can help you get it back. Not through stimulation, but through restoration. Because there's a quiet power in healing the very systems you've been pushing for years. When you start giving your body what it's been whispering for you, stop relying on caffeine and start creating true energy that doesn't crash halfway through the day. These are not trends, not gimmicks, just simple natural habits that work with your body, especially after 50. The most powerful stimulant in the world doesn't come from a cup. It comes from the sky. Early morning sunlight within the first 30 minutes of waking triggers your brain to reduce melatonin and increase dopamine, serotonin, and testosterone. It aligns your natural cortisol rhythm, gently lifting your energy without the sharp spike or eventual crash that coffee delivers. A study published in Environmental Health Perspectives found that just 20 minutes of morning light can boost mood, focus, and hormone balance in adults over 60. And beyond the biology, there's something almost spiritual about stepping into the morning light. It reminds you that you're still alive, still here, and that this day is yours. So before you pour anything, step into the light. Even if it's just through the window, even if it's cloudy. Let the light touch your face before the world touches your mind. Now let's talk about hydration, a simple, forgotten key to energy. Most people wake up in a mildly dehydrated state. Your body has gone hours without water, losing fluids through breathing and perspiration. And the first thing many people do: drink coffee, which is a diuretic. It pulls even more water out of the system. Instead, what your body is really craving first thing in the morning is salt and water. Just 1 glass of filtered water with a small pinch of sea salt or pink Himalayan salt can completely change how your body wakes up. It replenishes your sodium levels, helps you absorb fluids more effectively, and supports adrenal function, the very part of your body that's been overstressed by caffeine for years. Research from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology shows that even mild sodium rebalancing in older adults can improve adrenal resilience and stabilize daily cortisol, which means fewer crashes, less dizziness, and a more grounded sense of energy. Try it tomorrow. Within 5 minutes of waking, skip the mug. Grab a glass, add a pinch of salt, drink slowly, and see what shifts. Next comes the nervous system, your silent energy regulator. After 50, stress begins to imprint more deeply. Your body's ability to return to calm becomes slower. But there's one tool that's free, instant, and deeply healing: your breath. Right after you hydrate, sit in a chair near a window. No phone, no screens, no talking. Just close your eyes and breathe in slowly for 4 seconds. Hold for 4, and exhale for 6. Do this for 4 minutes. That's it. This simple breathing rhythm activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair mode, that's often offline in people who feel wired but tired. It lowers cortisol, steadies the heartbeat, improves circulation, and prepares your brain for a focused day without needing stimulation to do it. You may feel a wave of calm. You may even feel like crying. And that's okay. You've been holding tension for years. This is your body's way of releasing it. So before the news, the headlines, or even the breakfast, just breathe. You'll be amazed what clarity returns when you lead your day with calm instead of caffeine. And now, let's talk about coffee itself. You don't need to give it up forever, but you do need to respect it, especially now. After 50, coffee can still be a joy, but only when it's paired with intention. Here's the new rule: don't drink coffee within the first 90 minutes of waking. Give your body time to produce its natural cortisol rhythm first. That way, you're not overriding your system. you're supporting it. And when you do drink coffee, never on an empty stomach. Pair it with healthy fat or protein, something as simple as a boiled egg, a handful of nuts, or a few slices of avocado toast. This slows the caffeine absorption, reduces the cortisol spike, and protects your blood sugar. You'll feel steadier, less jittery, more clear-headed, and you'll avoid that mid-morning crash that sends you back to the pot. The National Sleep Foundation recommends stopping caffeine by 2 p.m. to preserve your sleep hormone cycle. And if you're still sensitive, try gentler alternatives like roasted chicory, root dandelion, root tea, or even ceremonial cacao. These nourish the ritual without exhausting the system, because the real issue isn't the coffee. It's the dependency, the belief that you can't feel alive without it. That's what we're gently breaking. When you start your morning with light hydration, breath, and nourishment, you're building your energy from within. And when you finally pour that cup, it becomes a celebration, not a crutch. Now let's bring it all together, a simple doctor-approved morning routine that works with your body after 50 instead of against it. Step 1, within 5 minutes of waking, salt water and morning light. Step 2, after that, 4 minutes of slow, mindful breath. Step 3, a protein-rich breakfast, and then coffee if you still want it. Try this for 7 days, not to be perfect, but to be present. And something will shift, not just in your energy, but in your calm, your clarity, and how deeply you feel like you again. Comment below if this helped you, and don't miss our next video right here on Senior Health Secrets. Let's step beyond the biology, beyond hormones, beyond energy, because there's a deeper layer to your morning coffee ritual, one that has less to do with caffeine and more to do with coping. For many people over 50, coffee isn't just a drink, it's armor, a signal to the world that you're still here, still functioning, still strong. You brew it half asleep. You sip it before you even speak. You move forward even if every cell in your body is begging you to slow down. And for a moment it works. You feel sharp, functional, in control. But underneath that jolt is a nervous system that's already overdrawn, a body that's been running on fumes for years, a heart that's quietly exhausted. The truth: you haven't been lazy, you've been surviving, and caffeine has been your daily tool for getting through a life that hasn't always allowed space to rest. But here's the thing: that ritual, that dependence might be masking something even more sacred, your connection to yourself. Let's talk about intimacy. Real human connection. The kind that requires presence, softness, and feeling safe in your own skin. Because caffeine doesn't just affect your energy, it affects your circulation, your hormones, and your nervous system's ability to feel calm and connected. Most people don't realize that caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. It tightens your blood vessels. That means reduced blood flow down there where it matters for physical intimacy. For men, this can mean weaker erections and lower libido. For women, it can mean sensitivity loss, dryness, and reduced desire. But we rarely connect those dots. We just feel the disconnection and then blame ourselves. We think, maybe I'm just too old. Maybe this part of life is over. Maybe it's just what happens after 60. But what if it's not age? What if it's stimulation, fatigue? What if your intimacy is still alive, just waiting for the fog to clear? A 2016 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that excessive caffeine intake may interfere with androgen signaling and hormonal balance, especially in aging adults. Which means the very thing you're drinking to feel more awake may be quietly dimming your intimacy. But there's hope. Because when you reduce your caffeine dependency, support your adrenal health, and restore natural energy through light breath, sleep, and nourishment, connection returns. Not in a rushed or performative way, but in a grounded, present way. in a way that feels safe, meaningful, and deeply human. And now, memory. Have you been forgetting why you walked into a room? Losing track of simple words mid-sentence? Feeling like your thoughts are swimming in molasses? That's not just aging. That's dopamine depletion. That's adrenal overdrive. That's a nervous system operating in a constant state of emergency. Caffeine boosts dopamine temporarily. It sharpens focus, yes, but only by burning through your reserves. And when you do that daily for years, your brain becomes dependent on stimulation just to function at a baseline level. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Neuroscience found that chronic caffeine use in older adults may impair working memory, reduce cognitive flexibility, and increase stress reactivity, especially when used to mask sleep loss or adrenal fatigue. It's not that your mind is failing. It's that your brain has been running on fumes trying to stay sharp while being overstimulated and under-rested. But when you slow down, when you hydrate, breathe, nourish, and rest, something shifts. Your clarity returns, your mind steadies, and with it, your confidence. So what does all of this mean? It means you're not broken, you're not fading, you're not too old. You're simply exhausted in a world that hasn't always honored your need to pause. And that brings us to something important. A truth you may have forgotten. You've spent your life giving your energy, your attention, your strength to your family, to your work, to everyone else. But now, it's time to give something back. Not to prove anything, not to chase youth, but to reclaim clarity, vitality, and peace because you deserve it. You don't need another stimulant. You need space. You need presence. You need the permission to say, I want to feel alive again, and I'm ready to do it without pushing myself past empty. Because when you take that first moment of the morning, not to reach for caffeine, but to reach for yourself, everything changes. You begin to remember who you were before the fatigue, before the autopilot, before the quiet sense of disconnection. You're not chasing your younger self. You're returning to your truest self. The version of you that's calm, clear, connected, not overstimulated but fully present. That's what real energy feels like. And it's waiting for you. You gave your love, your time, your strength for everyone else. Now give something back to yourself. You've made it this far, and that already says something powerful. It means a part of you is waking up, not in a caffeinated rush, but in quiet recognition that maybe, just maybe, there's a better way to live your mornings. A more honest way, a more human way. Because this conversation was never really about coffee. It was about clarity. It was about permission. Permission to not push so hard. Permission to rest. Permission to feel. Permission to choose something gentler, more sustainable for this season of life. If something in this message stirred you, if it touched a truth you've been trying to ignore, I invite you to comment below and simply say, I'm ready. Not ready to quit everything cold turkey. Not ready to make a drastic change overnight. But ready to stop borrowing energy you don't have. Ready to stop medicating your mornings with something that no longer honors the body you're living in. You are not alone. There are thousands of others right here in this community who've felt the same, who've wondered why they feel so tired, who've questioned whether their best years are behind them. But the truth, they're not even close. Because your power doesn't come from a stimulant. It comes from presence. From caring for your body with compassion instead of criticism. From learning how to fuel yourself from within without relying on the very thing that's slowly draining you. It's packed with honest, science-backed answers. The kind of information most doctors never share in a 15-minute appointment. And it might just explain why you've been feeling the way you have foggy, flat, unmotivated, disconnected from the spark that once made you you. You won't want to miss it. And now let me leave you with something I wish more people over 50 could hear and truly believe: you are not fading. You are not broken. You are not done. You are in a powerful phase of transition, from performance to presence, from chasing to receiving, from running on fumes to restoring from within. This isn't about giving up coffee. It's about giving yourself back the mornings that were never meant to be rushed or numbed, but lived. Fully, quietly, proudly. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for the mug, reach for the light, reach for your breath, reach for the part of you that still remembers how to feel whole without stimulation, without urgency, without guilt. Because you are not chasing youth. You are reclaiming clarity. You are not losing your strength. You are finally choosing to use it wisely. Your best years aren't behind you. They're not even far ahead. They're one honest choice away.